Good morning. Let's see if it works. Dr. Kristina. And this is my focused breath class, Pranayama Yoga. This is the third week, class 1, meeting at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Zoom app. And you can find me by my name, Dr. Ashley Romanchuk, or PIN number, which I will post on Facebook. Can't remember it off by heart. 958-001-7625, I think. I'm a naturopathic doctor. This has nothing to do with naturopathic medicine, but it is full of information, both of naturopathic medicine and yoga. And by no means is this treatment. You are doing it all on your sovereignty of self. I'm a guide. If your body tells you not to do something and you continue to do it, that is your problem. Basic. I am currently outside the town of Fernie, BC, Canada, which is also the untreated territory of the Ktunaxa Nation, Turtle Island. So Canada doesn't actually have much of a treaty in most of BC. A lot of people don't know that. It's important too. Anybody that's meeting on this from the USA, what land, whose land are you traditionally sitting on? These are good things, and awareness and consciousness, and also aligns with yoga. As you become a more conscious person, you pay attention. Okay, so we all come from a traditional land, and knowing the history of the land you're on is very important, let alone also knowing your history. When somebody says, hey, where are you from? What's your bloodlines? And very fascinating. In DNA replication, your mitochondria, which is your energy, it's your energy centers within every single cell in your body. It only comes from the mother's side. So ultimately you are your mother's mother's mother. So where did your mother's mother's mother come from? And that is who you are. Very fascinating. So I am Latvian. And my father's side is Romani. So the Romani came from the northern mountains. That's the real name for Gypsy. Or Roma. Came from around Rajasthan or Rishikesh. Northern mountains of India. We left India a very long time ago. And I believe we are some of the original teachers of yoga and Sanskrit and the Vedic texts. My father's side came from Bukovina, back when it was the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. And we came to Canada before World War I even started. So we're some of the first people that landed, and we landed just north of Edmonton on that side, and then my mother's side landed in Edmonton after the First World War. And all these things are very important. It's a sense of learning self, okay? And in learning self, that's what also yoga is. And then it's awareness. Yoga, one of the main virtues of yoga that must be a part is like your pure being, so you're pure, and non-harm, non-violence. So this goes into even actions that you might have taken with your family or your ancestors, and you didn't intend for harm, but in doing so, being a part of a country that colonized people, there was harm. So in reparation, whose land did you land on? What are the people? And making these contacts, perhaps even going and meeting them. That's a cool way to be. So just some background info on yoga, and then we'll go into breathing. Yoga is all about yourself, teaches sovereignty of self. It's about being with self, knowing self, going through self. So this means you go through your meditations, you deal with your baggage, you deal with yourself. Where in your life are you not aligned with your divine highest self? Are you acting not in alignment with your divine highest self? Are your values and actions aligned? Are you doing something you don't believe in? These are all aspects of yoga. Yoga is about self-adjustment. So from there you adjust. No, I'm not so happy with this. I'm not so happy with this job. I'm not so happy with this house, relationship, how I'm carrying myself. Even in simple things like, I'm tired. Okay, well then go to sleep early. Very simple. And then yoga is all about self-reformation. So in healing thyself, it sounds very biblical. You are doing big work in this world, and this is what yoga is. In yoga, you come to a place of unity. Unity, yug is yoga, unity of body, mind, soul. So you're really, truly in your honest truth. In that place, all that is your truth comes to you. This means the job, the relationship, the universe becomes your universe. This universe is your universe. So you align you and you will align this universe. We are basically going to continue with the breath that I've started. I can go on and on and on and talk yogic philosophy forever. But this class is a practical class. So I'll just give little bits and pieces here and there. Remember that your mind and your breath are closely related. So by focusing the mind, or focusing the breath, you focus the mind. Focusing the mind, you focus the breath, same thing, but kind of different. So through paying attention to your breath, your mind comes into stillness, and that is required to actually get deep into yogic practice. Experience unity, samadhi. You can go into meditation and really understand a lot of big concepts. One thing is practicing calmness, peace, love, gratitude, humility, moving away from obstacles in life, which are lower frequency emotions of anger, sadness, hatred, bitterness. Those are really low frequency. Doubt in oneself, lack of motivation, dullness, carelessness, laziness, false perceptions, a big one. So when you move into your truth pervades you, okay? So from the Yogic Sutras of Patanjali, to retain calmness and not be disturbed, so to be in your Buddha nature, which is practice. You have friendliness towards the happy, which is Sukhya. Compassion towards the unhappy, so you can see we're okay, and be in your highest self. You be caring and nurturing, that's Dukkha. Delight in the virtuous, Punya, and disregard to the wicked, and that's a Punya. And there, as you grow, there is a very, that's what lots of ancient masters and teachers say, as you really start to walk your yogic path, it's like walking a razor's blade, a razor's edge. Really have to stay with your truth. And when you start to get to this place, I've got a really neat story about this, but the dukkha, the compassion to the unhappy, and then the disregard to the wicked, a punya, it all becomes you learn not to judge people by their outside. You have to pay attention to you. So somebody can come in and look like dark and wicked, but in your heart. And it's a fine line. It's a very fine line. The what's his name? I can't remember his name. He's a Buddhist monk, Tibetan. He's so cute. It's just peace, pure peace. He says that there's a line with compassion, and that's even where yoga happens. So you can move through your yogic path and be too compassionate, but you've got leaky boundaries. Basically, you're not totally in your good boundary. And you can cause harm for yourself if you go towards too much harm out of compassion. So it's a fine line between learning to care and take care and to stand your own ground. And yoga teaches this. Maintaining your peace is very important. And calmness can also be attained through pranayama. So let's get into it. I'm going to not talk anymore from my special book. Breathing in through our nose and out, and we're going to just attune to our breath. In this, we attune to our highest self. I love myself. I love you. I love I. No difference between us, really. Breathing in and breathing out. You can just do it whatever way you want. It's about all of a sudden your mind going to your breath, and that's all we're doing right now. Good time to check in. I always suggest bringing some water because breathing can dry out the central channel. Opening a window. If you're lying in bed, that's great. If you're sitting on the floor, I suggest sitting on a cushion. How do you feel today? Did you get enough sleep? Breathing. If you didn't get enough sleep, there's something very simple. How do you get more sleep in your life so you become a healthy, happy human that functions in society well? Are you thirsty? Also very simple. If you're thirsty, drink some water. Simple. Breathing. You can breathe in through both nostrils. Does your breath have stress in it? Hopefully there's no chest pain. If so, why would there be? Breathing attunes you to your health. Calms the mind as well. So we're going to go a little deeper into this, and we're going to go in a breath for 4, breath out for 4, all through our nose, tongue against the roof of the mouth behind the 2 front teeth. Well, I mean, it's behind all really the front teeth. Where's your posture if you're seated? Align your hips, align your sacrum, use your muscles. Breathe in, diaphragm here. If this is your first class, you might want to go over my past classes because we are continuing. So I've gone through all this alignment already. All classes are posted, so that means anybody that's starting can go from the start. Breathe in for 4, out for 4. We are not retaining the breath at all right now. We're just breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 4. Tuning to our central channel. In for 4, breathing out for 4. You keep breathing while I speak. So breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. Don't lose your breath as I'm speaking. Breathe in for 4. Breathe out for 4. Good time to move our heads safely in some yeses, nos. Ear to shoulder very gently. Okay. And then we do this duck that neck. Try to keep it on the same horizontal plane. It is so weird, but it really does help these very tiny muscles breathe into here. Breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4. Do you have mucus? Mucus is caused by a diet that doesn't work well for you. It can be caused by way too much sugar in the diet, way too much yeast, such as too many breads and pastries. It can be caused by alcohol, tobacco, too much caffeine. It can be caused if you're eating something you're allergic to. It can be caused if your house is not clean enough, or maybe you're in a work environment that's not good, like working around, I don't know. Some of these industries are pretty toxic. So tuning in. Mucus is a sign that your body needs some healing and some work. Focus. Breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. I'm going to change this up and we're going to start to restrain the breath at the top of the breath and the bottom of the breath. So breathing in for 4 and then we pause. And we breathe out for 4 and we pause. In for 4. Pause. Breathe out for 4. Pause. I'm going to breathe with you. In for 4. Pause. Breathe out for 4. Pause. Pay attention to the place of peace at the pause. Top of the breath, bottom of the breath. Eternal peace is found in these places. And in these places you can bring eternal peace into your entire being. Breathe in for 4. Pause. Breathe out for 4. Pause. Breathe in for 4. Pause. Breathe out for 4. Pause. In your head and your thoughts, repeat after me. I am pure light, pure love, pure bliss. We're going to move to the next breath we've been practicing, which is a simple, it's great for oxygenating the blood in the body. Breathing in through the mouth, breathing out through the mouth. Very simple. So breathe in, let it out. We're going to let it out very simply, like it's a full release. Good way to release tension. So breathe in through the mouth. Swallow. Do this on your own time when your body wants to breathe in through the mouth. Sometimes there can be a pause in between. That's okay. It's actually required. Breathing is about divine timing, so you must pay attention to your internal cues. Yeah, I'm telling you things, but you pay attention to when you want to breathe in and breathe out. You will not go wrong by paying attention to yourself. Your higher guidance is the most intelligent, there, simple, the most intelligent. It is more intelligent than anybody else. So paying attention to your truth, very important. Breathe in through the mouth, breathe out through the mouth at your own time. Smile while you're doing it. Sigh if you have to. Say a prayer with the out breath. I love you. That can be a prayer. I love you. You love me? You? No different. Biggest secret of yoga. Not really a secret. But people just don't get it until they really get it. Oh, good time to stretch a little. Oh, it feels good. This one really drives out my throat. So drink some water if you have to. Go to the bathroom if you have to. Say that every single class. Breathing will move your entire digestive system. So on the first signal that you have to go to the washroom, go to the washroom. Do not wait. Do not let those signals get dull. We want to get those strong for a healthy, happy body. Okay. Breathe in and out. We're going to do this for a while because we haven't done breath work for the weekend. Oxygenate all that blood. Let some sighs out. It feels good. Feel the cold air move through your throat and back your palate. It feels really neat. Really attunes you to your inner channels too. Start to notice yourself. When you get really attuned to the yogi, you will picture all this in your third eye. You don't need to go to anatomy, physiology class to know yourself, okay? Do you think the yogis knew everything? Those ancient sadhus that sat up in the mountains, I mean, they're still there sitting around practicing yoga. Breathe in through the mouth. Oh. That's more of a lion's breath. It feels good to do sometimes. That's excess heat. I guess I'm teaching you a new breath. I wanted to do it, so this is lion's breath. Be a lion. Lion. It's also being a Buddha. You're so strong in yourself. Rawr, like that. Fierce. Sovereignty brings fierceness. Okay, knowing yourself. You're not this passive being walking on earth. You're this self. And your truth doesn't bring aggression. True self is like you're peaceful in yourself, but you know, if somebody moves into your boundaries, become a lion. So lion's breath, it sticks out its tongue, you become the face of the sun. Really like exert. If there's any hate in your body or any raw, it's a good way to get rid of it. But still just focusing on this very simple breath in and out of the mouth. Sigh if you have to. Your body, and all the way the body comes into attunement. And we live in this society that taught people to be very, I shouldn't do this, and I shouldn't do that, and I shouldn't cry in society, and I shouldn't sigh in society, and I shouldn't yawn in society, I shouldn't, do all these other things. And so suppressing. So at least having a practice where you can, let this all come out is very important. Sometimes if you're doing this breath and you want to breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth instead of in through your mouth and out through your mouth, you do that. Okay, so the thing about pranayama is a teacher can only teach you, and it's your seat of sovereignty of self that will tell you what breath is good for you at that time. So I'm saying, let's breathe in through our mouth and out through our mouth. And sometimes I want to do a lion's breath. So I do it because I know these breaths. Sometimes when I'm saying that, I'm like, it doesn't work for me to breathe in through my mouth and out through my mouth. I need to breathe in through my nose now and out through my mouth. Okay? So I'm a teacher. You can learn from me. Number one is you have to follow yourself. Okay? Everyone must follow their truth on earth, including in breathwork, pranayama. So for me, it's time for me to breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. Cool. What's it for you? Breathe in through your mouth, breathe out through your mouth. Breathe normal. Do you need to lie down? Does your body have an urge to do any of the other breaths that we've learned, like the maybe you have too much, or maybe you need to do more lion's breath? So trying to follow with the group, but also really attuning to what is your truth and moving between the breaths. If you need to lie down, if you need to go to sleep, if you need to go to the bathroom, if you just need to breathe normal for a while, do it. So now, after breathing normally through my nose for a little bit, I can go back to this breath. This breath is a very difficult breath. Not many times we will ever be breathing in through our mouth and out through our mouth like this. Breathing in through the mouth like this can actually put some strain on the well, I'd say the cardiovascular system. It's not easy for the heart, so not a very natural breath, actually. But it's a good way to get some oxygen, extra oxygen in to the blood. Okay, we're going to go into the Ujjayi breath now. This moves the prana of the body very much, the yogic breath, very traditional yogic breath. So Ujjayi is the breath of the seashore. Slight constriction of the back of the throat. So constrict the breath, kind of like you're coming in through you're coming in through your nose, but it's constricted, so it's like I'm making it extra strong for you to try to hear. And then okay, so if you hear me, that's the breath of the seashore. You become in the ocean of life, in and then out, and you move with it. Very amazing breath. People can go into very transcendental states with this. Everything happens through practice, so you don't just become perfect right away. So practice it, try it, play with it. This is you attuning to yourself. Ujjayi breath, the breath of the seashore. I'm going to breathe, you breathe. I can't keep talking and breathing at the same time. Think of something that you love so much while you're doing all this. Your mind, your thoughts are connected to love. Very important. Think of your happy place. Remember how Peter Pan talks about this? Find your happy place. He's talking about yoga. Find your place where you're in bliss, where you're so happy. So then you're breathing in, and your mind is on love. Breathing in pure love, breathing out pure love. You're exuding pure love. Peace, bliss, What's your happy thought? What is it that you love? What is your love? You can choose love. Like this can be a choice of like Om Namah Shivaya of a partnership. That might be your truth. Love might be settling your mind on your concept of God or your children. Being able to just settle your mind on feeling. For many people, it is setting your mind on the other, or that connection with the other. The other being the love relationship, the partnership, the divinity. Union is the child. You can have union, body, mind, soul between two people, and it can never feel like enough totally. And that's because the totality is the child. Okay, so sacred Ganesha, the child. Ganesha is the child between the divine lovers. Stretching is important. This breath moves your rib cage. This breath moves your body. Okay, so many different ways you could be stretching or not stretching. You can be a very perfect yogi and be seated and just be perfect, but be surprised. Coming up to you. You need to do some stretching. That's why we do have a lot of the yoga taught in the West is like the movement of the poses, asanas. The real name for asana is to take your seat, but this also means in the poses. So when a sequence of asanas are taught, you're in a peaceful, calm seat within each of them, and that's real yoga. So you're moving through your, and I suggest doing them. This class is pranayama though. I mean, I could teach yoga all day. I could teach the movements as well. I love Ashtanga, Hatha yoga. I love Yin yoga too. That's a newer one. Very great for anybody that's kind of into yoga, kind of not. At least get your joints really lubricated. Really brings out the I always have trouble with this word, hyaluronic acid in the joints. Nidra, yoga nidra is incredible. Oh my goodness, so transcendental. You can also do your own. And that's really paying attention to the way your body wants to stretch and kind of get into it. I love Iyengar, keeping the spine really straight because the spine does matter. I do love Kundalini. I've even done a couple Bikram classes. I thought my head was going to blow off my body. Bikram classes. They're a bit too hot. Moksha. All these various forms of yoga we have now. And my main teaching in this class is yoga does not have to be as complicated. So just as everything, the West has taken something and made it into a bunch of different things, not taught it properly. And people are missing the entire point of it, really. And so these classes, yeah, they're for people that just want to simply oxygenate their body after wearing masks. But it's also proper yoga. So real yoga You do sit into meditation. Real yoga, you learn to bring this into your daily life. You don't just leave it at the mat. You are a walking yogi, mind, body, spirit, mind, body, soul, in tune. It's about sovereignty of self. It's about practice, teaching these things. So let's keep breathing in through our mouth and out through our mouth. We've done this breath class in through the mouth and out through the mouth for an entire hour. Next day, I couldn't believe how good my skin looked because I had oxygenated my blood so much. I very, very easily in this breath want to go into breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that too, okay? So most people get in, or should get into, the practice of breathing in through their nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in through your nose, I've stated this in a couple classes, puts you into parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest, cranial nerve 10, dominance, vagal dominance. You want to be in these places, okay? Breathing in through your mouth can put you into sympathetic state, stress state, rest, fight, flight, or freeze. You do not actually want to breathe in that state. So if I say breathe in through your mouth, out through your mouth, and you just want to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, or in through your nose and out through your nose, you go for it. I have no problem with that. Once in a while, breathe in through the mouth, out through the mouth. It just simply oxygenates the blood. So for these people that have to be wearing masks several hours during the day, crazy time. Go outside when you can, from your work, and even breathe for a few minutes of just fresh air. Breathe in through your mouth, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Take some deep breaths. You can even do it for a couple minutes every hour. So just doing it. We're going to have a society having to breathe in through masks like this. Yeah, got to take care of yourself at this time. You don't want to have respiratory illnesses during the winter. Masks, our mouth has a lot of bacteria. So having a mask, and then God, please reuse your, please do not reuse, please change your mask, wash your mask really well. Crazy time in. You don't want to be rebreathing the bacteria that's on your mask. I hope people don't get big respiratory stuff going on. I've been picking extra medicines because I have a feeling this winter people might have that, unfortunately. So breathe in through your mouth, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth, which one you feel better, but we're just reoxygenating. I'm going to switch it up. This breath retrains the cardiovascular and the respiratory system. It's 4-7-8 breathing. We're breathing in through our nose for 7. Or no, sorry, I keep speaking really weird things, what I don't mean to say today. I don't know why. We're going to breathe in through our nose through 4. We're restraining the breath for 7. Breathing out through our nose or mouth for a count of 8. So we're breathing in for 4, restraining at the top of the breath for 7, breathing out for 8. This retrains our lungs and our cardiovascular system. It was a breath taught by Dr. Andrew Weil, an MD that's very focused on holistic health in the United States. has some magazines. I'm not sure what he's up to now, but I learned this breath from him actually, and I really like it. So, breathing in for 4, breathing out for 7. Nope, breathing in for 4, holding for 7, breathing out for 8. I'm on a different planet, I guess, today. It's a hard breath. If you have a tough time holding for 7, hold as long as you can. Your lungs are not going to burst, but they might feel like they can. And then breathing out, and at the bottom, when you're breathing out, you can get to the 5, 6, 7 count, and you're like really pushing out the last breaths. It's a good breath. It takes time. It took me months to get this one because I had been at a time in my life where I was stressed out and I wasn't breathing properly, and my lungs were not at the best shape. Okay, so I'm going to do this breath. Breathing in for 4, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. Let's go. Breathe in for 4. So breathing in, pause, breathing out for 8. Breathing in for 4. Pause for 7. Breathing out for 8. Breathing in for 4. Pause for 7. Breathing out for 8. Okay, so we're going to just go back to some normal breaths now. I want you just to breathe normally. And notice how much more, excuse me, freedom buoyancy, elasticity there is in your lungs. Lack of tension. So we're going to go into Nadi Shodhana, the balancing of the left and right sides of the body, hemispheres of the brain, emotional natures, masculine, feminine, some might say, yin yang. So we've got our pinky, ring finger, left nostril, middle, pointer finger, third eye, thumb, right nostril. We're going to hold our left nostril down while we breathe in through our right nostril for a count of 4. Then we'll plug our right nostril with our thumb, immediately releasing our left nostril. Breathe out for a count of 4. Then we will breathe in through our left nostril for a count of 4. Plug it, immediately release our right nostril. Breathe out through our right nostril for a count of 4, and then so forth. And then in a little bit, we're going to take this one and change it up. So I guess this third week, we are changing up some of the breath work. And if this is your first class, I would suggest going back to the first week and catching up, okay? So everybody's gonna have to count on their own time, because me doing this with you is not so easy. So let's start with our pinky and ring finger, left nostril, middle and pointer finger, third eye, thumb on right nostril, breathing in through our right nostril for 4, closing our right nostril, breathing out through our left nostril for 4, breathing in through our left nostril for 4, closing our left nostril, and we're going to do this about 20 times. Okay, so everybody go through the left or right nostril first. Okay, I need to get in my zone. Now, I love this breath. It's very balancing. You can move your cranial bones, so some yeses and nos is good. If you hear any clunking or movements going on with your breathing, that's okay. It's safe here. Body is intelligent. It will not lead you around. Let it go. It's made to move, okay? We're going to do this breath, but we're going to restrain. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with our pinky and ring finger, left nostril, middle and pointer finger, third eye, and thumb on our right nostril, but we're going to breathe in for 4, plug our right nostril, restrain our breath for a moment, unplug our left nostril, breathe out for 4, restrain our breath for a moment. And we're going to do this. Restrain at the top of the inhale, restrain at the bottom in the exhale, alternate nostril breathing for about 20 times. You're going to have to count on your own, pay attention on your own. It's not that complicated, it takes a focused mind, okay? So, we're going to begin, again, pinky and ring finger, left nostril, middle and pointer finger, third eye, thumb, right nostril. We're going to begin by breathing in through our right nostril for 4. Pause at the top of the inhale. Really pay attention to your pineal gland in this place. Just pause for whatever your natural pause is. Plug your left nostril or right nostril with your thumb. Unplug your left nostril. Breathe out for 4. Pause at the bottom of the inhale. Pay attention to it. Heart, pineal gland, connection and activity goes on with this breath. Big deal. Also, with these breaths, the purpose of having, well, this even simply touching your third eye, your pineal gland, helps activate it. But it's also good to get a bit lazy with this, okay? So a lot of people, breathing will align your cervical spine, your cranial bones. Follow it, okay? So get a bit lazy, lean against your pointer and your middle finger, push back. It will help align your cranial bones and your cervical spine too, okay? So beginning, pinky, ring finger, left nostril, middle, pointer finger, third eye, thumb on your right nostril, breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. Pause. Breathing in for 4. Pause. Breathing in for 4. Pause. Breathing out for 4. Pause. Okay. Simply go back through breathing to your nose. Does that even make sense? Simply go back into breathing through your nose and notice the difference from Nadi Shodhana. Notice the difference of how much space and room and freedom and buoyancy we have in our chests and our lungs to breathe. Notice the difference of your lung expansion now compared to the beginning of class. More breaths in through the nose and out. Breathe out. Like that, lion's breath. Rawr, like that when you let it out. Without any of the heat. Anything you don't want in there. Residue that was left over. Always holding on to love. Love. I love you. When you're breathing, you're exuding your energy. And that's yoga. And you want to take this into the real world. Exude love and peace. Gratitude's a big one. Gratitude's one of the most special keys. Okay, so if you're in lower frequencies of them, I'm not happy. What are you grateful for? Hold on to that gratitude. Gratitude will change and transform your entire energy. If you really can't think of what you're grateful for, then that's a big problem. You've got to be grateful for something. There is something on this planet that you are grateful for. Believe me, I can. Me, when I turn into a dark line, I can be very. For a long time, I was only grateful for my cat and my dog, and I love them so much. Practice gratitude. Okay, so we're going to go into our last breath, which is a detoxifying breath using our special drum muscle of our second chakra. And we're going to just focus on the out breath. Align. You need to be in good musculature, proper. You use your muscles in this. Like, this is not a class where you, okay, also too, when you're hunched over, put a lot of strain and stress on your lungs and your heart. So learning to have some abdominal muscles. I do some abdominal work every single day. I would suggest everybody do that. I'm sorry that, like, you should still be 60 and 70 and be strong. Okay, this society of people being 30 and 40 and lazy and no muscles and stuff, like, come on, get real. Look back to your grandparents. They were strong, resilient people, and most of them probably lived a good, long life. It's, maybe this sounds a little bit harsh or judgmental, but it's unacceptable that people are not healthy until old age. And this does require work. It requires doing some ab muscles or lifting some weights, or, you know, people were healthy before because they had to do real work, which was like outside, and their jobs weren't sitting at a computer at their desk. So we have to compensate for this in this day and age, or choose a life where you don't do that if it doesn't work for you. But, you know, if you do a lot of desk work, then you need to be diligent and integral and responsible for yourself, and also making sure, you know, you do some ab work. And maybe, you know, some other work with the body. Anyways, this detoxifying breath, so align, everything's aligned. Using this muscle, out breath, we're doing it through our nose today, like that. It's kind of gross because it can shoot out anything if you have in your nose, so if you need a tissue, go for it, like that. Don't worry about the in-breath, your diaphragm actually recoils your breath in, and this really detoxifies the central channel and actually aligns it properly. So sit very straight. Breathe in when you need. Do a few rounds of this. To start, you want to breathe in and then breathe out and then start with this drum movement, okay? You don't want to be breathing in and then drumming, if that makes sense. So breathe in, release the breath. Swallow. Definitely dry out. That breath is called shining skull breath. That's the Western slang term for it anyway. They said that you can do that breath and become enlightened. And it very much cleanses the central channel. I'm going to end this class with a Om, the oldest mantra, the only mantra you need to know. You don't need to get all confused with the other mantras. Sit in meditation if you want to sit in meditation for an hour or hours, or you're really into it and want to go into meditation, sit there for however long you want. Go for it. Awesome. This class is run by donation. Email transfer to my email, akromanchuk@gmail.com, akromanchuk@gmail.com. Donation means it's up to your integrity of what you can afford, how beneficial you found this. It does not mean it's free. One of the main teachings of yoga is we do not steal, and in not stealing, there is the interaction. This day and age, we've grown into money as our main currency of interaction. It's not expected though. If you're somebody that's like, this teaching came to me and yoga's, I give back another way, fine, that's cool. Fortunately or unfortunately, I do run on money, just as everybody else does, run on money. I do not run on money. I use money as a currency, and we all need it at this day and age. So donation is welcome, accepted, and very honorable of you. I suggest a donation of $10 a class. Yoga teachers that are not even very advanced in yoga are teaching $16, $18 classes, which is crazy, but so is the society a little bit. And $100 a month. If you can afford more, go for it. If you can afford less, I totally understand. I totally understand. So donations welcome, please, and thank you. And tell your friends, tell people, spread the word. I'm, ideally, I think there's a way to get, especially the west coast of Turtle Island, which includes Canada and USA, into doing some breath work and learning some yoga. And join me in an Om, seated meditation after. Om is such a good way to balance the body. Namaste. See you tomorrow.